All right, Sasan, we are listening to you.
Sure. Okay, my friends. My presentation is going to be about the mind of plants. Everybody knows these days that plants are part of our life, definitely. And there are many questions in the mind of scientists, psychologists, or maybe professors, university professors, and investigators about plants. There are many questions which are crossing their mind. For example, do they perceive in the environment? I mean, plants. Do they have any memory? Can they react to the environment? Can they defend themselves? These are some questions which are going to be answered in my presentation. Let me tell you a story which happened, a mystery which happened a couple of years ago in one of African deserts. That was about 4 or 5 years ago that there was a drought in one of African deserts, and there was no water, and as a result, some animals were looking for, let's say, something for eating, for example, some plants or some leaves, and a huge number of kudus were dropped down in one of the deserts. The scientists and, let's say, investigators didn't find any clue or anything to realize that what the reason was that a lot of kudus were dead without any reason. There was no mark on their bodies, and it had nothing to do with predators. They tried to be more precise to figure out that what the reason was. So they started conducting some investigation by evaluating the content of their stomachs. And as a result, they realized that there is a tannin gas in their actually stomach, which is deadful for their body. And this gas is released by some plants as a defense mechanism. So the question was answered. The answer is that those plants in that area realized that those kudus were trying to attack and chew all of these leaves, and they are going to die. So they tried to defend themselves by releasing this gas, which was deathful to those animals. So that's a clue that actually plants could defend themselves. They can perceive their environment and react to their environment as well. And also there are other clues as well. For example, we have seen or we have heard of many situations in which, for example, plants react to the music. And also, there is a musician who is called Roger, who has composed many musics specifically for plants. In some videos, in a documentary that I watched, the plant was moving its leaves because of the music. And the interesting point is that, for example, rock music is a type of music which is detrimental for plants. But for example, classical music or pop music is something that could empower the flowers and plants. And another part of my presentation is about Japanese, let's say, pioneers or Japanese scientists. This country is a pioneer in, let's say, doing investigation and research about plants and animals. They figured out that it is necessary for some plants to go asleep. That's really amazing, astounding, And what they couldn't understand that what the reason is it necessary really for the plants to get asleep? But that was completely true, that some plants go asleep every 24 hours. But the next question is about the memory. Do they have any memory? A university professor tried to do some experiment to figure out this question. He actually put a flower pot on a table in a, let's say, horizontal position, and after a couple of hours he put it in a refrigerator, and he said that in the refrigerator the flower is not going to do anything. It is going to go asleep, and no chemical reaction is going to be done in its body. And after 20 hours, he took that flower out of the refrigerator. He put it on the table in a correct direction, in the vertical direction. And after a couple of days, the flower started growing in a horizontal direction. That was showing that that flower was using its memory for growing. Because if you, for example, put a flower in a horizontal position, it tries to calculate the upside direction for growing. And that was something which was really astonishing to me. And this information was something that I gathered about plants. I hope you enjoyed it.
The topic was great. The presentation was great, and I enjoyed it so much. And any question, mispronunciation, any comment, anything?
I don't see any misspelling, mispronunciation. He says he put, the correct form is he puts.
Karim, thank you. Yes.
I got a question. A couple of day of or a couple of days. Which one is true?
Is it related to the lecture?
Yes.
So, Sasan, which one?
The true form is correct form is couple of days.
Yeah, a couple of days. Yeah, a couple of days, because a couple of, when you're talking about that, it is more than one, so you need to pluralize day.
Yeah, thank you.
You're welcome. All right. Any other comments?
Yes, I have one question about the meaning of figure out.
Okay.
Can I answer? Yeah.
Yes.
Figure out means when you figure out something, it means you find it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. You understand. You construe.
Okay, thank you.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome. Anything else? All right. Let me just mention some of the points that I thought you mispronounced them, in your presentation. One of them is content. When it is used as a noun, it refers to the building blocks of something. You usually put the stress on the first syllable. The content, you said content, and mechanism, first syllable, you said defense mechanism, I think. And you said many situations. Of course, this is a minor mistake. And let me see. You said one of the musicians composed many music, but many music tracks, many music files. Music is not countable, so you cannot say many music. And am I right?
Yeah, completely.
Okay. And you said that the plants were dancing because of music. It's better to say in response to music, not just because it means that they are reacting to music. And so you said do experiment. It's better to say conduct an experiment, carry out an experiment. It's much better.
Or launch. Can we say launch?
Launch actually just focuses on the start of that. It puts performing, doing an let's say something is different from just making a start. And the other point is refrigerator. I think you said something else. And the rest was really great. I enjoyed it so much.
Thank you.
I wonder why you just chose this topic. Could you please elaborate on that?
For when I want to give a presentation, at first I try to search on YouTube about BBC documentaries, because I think it's really beneficial not only for listening but also for gaining a lot of new information and also empowering my vocabulary, let's say pocket or basket. And some topics really attract me, about the moon, about the plants, and about some natural things.
Yeah. And do you keep some plants at home?
Yes, definitely. I water them every day.
Caress them and just be gentle to them,
Yeah,
Why not?
because there is something. There's a saying, "What goes around comes back around." I think that's true about plants as well. For example, sometimes you can see that people put their garbage on the, let's say, on the area under any tree, and they think that it's a place for
Oh,
putting their garbage.
yeah, sure. This is also called karma, as far as I know. It's,
Karma.
Yeah, as far as I know, it's karma. It means that everything has a boomerang effect, so it will get back to us sooner or later. Whatever you do, any action causes a reaction sooner or later. Yeah.